Hey folks, AJ the CEO here, and in this video I want to walk you through my suggestion for a low cost but high quality live streaming system. Now, when I say low cost, I know that is subjective, but just based off of the over 250 ministries that we've helped physically install, I want to actually walk you through what my recommendation would be if I was to sit down with you and you wanted something that doesn't break the budget, but is going to give you high quality. So, before we get started, there are 5 things that you need to be aware of when it comes to live stream. 2 of those I'm not going to really cover, but I will give you recommendations for what you're going to do. So for those 5 things, you're going to have internet, video, audio, capture device, and platform. Internet and platform, I will give you recommendations, but you can't like go to Best Buy, Amazon, or buy this stuff. These are things that you need to be aware of when you go to get your internet. Well, you know what, since I'm talking about it, might as well cover it. When it comes to your internet, we've talked about it before. No matter what you're going to do, if you want to have some live streaming there with your ministry, you need to have a stable upload speed. Most of the time when you look at ISPs, they always accent their download speed. Like for example, I have Fios here at my house and I have 500 down megabits per second and 500 up. That is possible, but again, they just provide both speeds up and down. Most providers don't do that. So say like a Comcast or whatever that's in the area, no matter what they give you, most of the time they're always mentioning their download speed. But for a stable 1080p 60 frames a second upload speed, my personal recommendation, don't go for anything less than 15 megabits per second. Well, I'll give you a range instead. 10 to 15 megabits per second. And there's a caveat to that. But again, that's what, don't even try and live stream at 1080p, anything lower than that. The other thing I would recommend when it comes to your internet is Wi-Fi is great. Get a hard line connection. If you're given a router, a modem, or whatever from your ISP, invest the time to spend or invest the money to spend and get an Ethernet connection or hire somebody to put a hardline connection to where all this equipment is going to be. I promise you, it will save you. Don't depend on Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is good, but if you're asking me, I would never do Wi-Fi live streaming. I would always have a hardline connection. Now, the other thing that I'm not really going to cover, because that's your preference and to pretty much follow where your people are at, or honestly, where the people at large are at, is going to be your platform. You have tons of platforms that you can pick from: Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Vimeo, you know, there's a bunch that you can choose from. So the main thing is pick what's comfortable for you, where your audience is, especially if you have a congregation that's kind of older and they're not into the Twitter thing, not into the Twitch thing, and they want something that's easy. YouTube, honestly, I think is the easiest because it has a built-in app on most smart TVs. Some TVs have Facebook Watch, but not all of them. Almost all of them, smart TVs, have some type of YouTube component, so that makes it really easy for any elderly folks or anybody in general to be able to not just watch on their phone, their computer, their tablet, but they can watch on their TV. That would be my recommendation, but honestly, all these platforms are the same, so it doesn't really matter. All the stuff that we're going to talk about can work on any of them. All right, so now, first thing is video. Now, I am not going to shoot down anybody else, but there's a bunch of folks that out there that kind of put it in your mind that you need to have a camera that is like honestly, from $2,000 to almost like $5,000. Now, I'm going to be honest. Most of my videos, like right now, I am using a Blackmagic 4K Plus camera that goes around like $1,500 without the lens. Would I recommend this for a live stream? If you got the person to run it, me personally, I like PTZs. If you've been watching my channel at all, you know that I like that, mainly because it gives good quality, and most of the ministries I'm working with, they're limited on the amount of people. A camera like this needs somebody manning it. Now, I'm not moving. That's why I'm able to use this myself. But if I was using something like this at my ministry or any type of camera, you would need somebody to man it. Then you're also throwing in the cost of lenses. So again, for me, a low budget option, and you can pick from any of the cameras that we've used. We've used a bunch of vendors. I actually got some downstairs I need to test out. But most PTZs are 20x PTZ that can cover about 65 feet distance from where the camera is to the back. You're looking at around $625 up to $800 depending. And then if you want to throw in a joystick that you can sit in a room and somebody can actually move it instead of having a tripod in the middle of the aisle or somewhere that's kind of distracting in a service, you can have everything in the back and mount this thing on the wall up and out of sight, but it gives you great performance. Now, if you're looking for something that's trying to make you look like the next Avatar movie or the next Black Panther, Wakanda Forever or something like that, these PTZs, the ones that I'm talking about, are not going to give you that quality. But for the average person, it's going to look night and day difference and great for you. And it helps with, you know, the aesthetics, at least for me, that you don't have a lot of intrusion inside the sanctuary running that. So right there, we're starting off at around, depending on if you want to start with one and you can easily add more in the future, you just say you're starting off with $700 and then you throw in another joystick, that's $1,000 total just in that. Now, the next thing we're talking about, audio. I don't like adding a lot of audio because most of the time you already have some type of sound system at your ministry. So what I like to do, I don't do all these extra capture devices and audio interfaces and stuff like that. If you have a mixer, honestly, most of the time there is some form of out, a mix out, an RCA out, a 1/4 inch out, XLR out, that you can leverage that system already and you don't need to get anything new. We're talking about adding maybe a $25 cable and leveraging the sound that you already have. Now, again, this is about low cost, what I would recommend. So right there, if we're starting with our PTZ, all the supplies that are needed and a joystick, we're at $1,000, and then maybe throw in a $25 cable. So we're at $1,000, $1,025. That's where we're at right there. All right. Now, the next thing we're talking about is a capture device. You need some way to marry the audio and the video and link them together and then either take it into your computer if you decide to use that or send it directly to your platform. Now, if you know me, you know what I'm going to mention. I'm going to talk about the ATEM. I'm actually using that right now to record and make this video right now. The ATEM Mini Pro has dropped in price to $295 and it is a steal. Now, what that is going to allow you to do is connect up to 4 input devices, whether that be 4 cameras, 2 computers, 3 cameras, 1 computer, whatever, connected to that same $25 cable that we were talking about that's pulling from your sound. You can connect that to the ATEM, and now the ATEM is marrying your audio and video together. So right there, we're at what, $1,350 maybe? $330, I think. Yeah, $1,330. That's what we're at right there. Now, with that hardline internet connection I just told you about, we would just connect that Ethernet cable from your router directly to the ATEM. And guess what? The ATEM now can live stream to wherever you want it to be. Now, we're not talking about having all these humongous cameras and stuff like that. We're talking about let's just round it up. Let's say $1,400 that would give you this and give you the growth that you want to. Now, I'm not talking about connecting this to displays and all this other stuff. I'm talking about what I consider an entry level. Now, again, this is just my opinion. I understand people have different budgets. This is just my recommendation if I was going to sit down with you. Now, the last thing we talked about was the platform. The ATEM Mini Pro can stream to whichever platform you choose. You know, Twitch, Zoom, if you add a laptop into it to connect to the Zoom client, YouTube, Facebook, whatever, the ATEM can handle that. So for me, if I was going to help you, sitting down with you and you said, AJ, we want to get into streaming, what would you suggest? Again, what I would suggest as a beginner, because all of this stuff can still be used whether you decide to go bigger and better than what you're doing right now, I would start with a PTZ 20X that ranges from 625 to 800, starting with a 20X zoom up to 30. Tons of deals. Links are down below to ones I've used personally and recommend. And also there's some discount codes with some vendors and some brands that I'm actually working with. So hopefully that will save you some money. Then also the joystick to control that. The reason I like the PTZs and that joystick, an IP-based one specifically, you can add multiple cameras and you don't have to get a new joystick. So that helps you with growth, all right? Then by just having a cable pull from your existing sound system, you don't have to get a new audio device. The ATEM is going to leverage and bring all of that stuff together. So you can have up to 4 input devices, a laptop that's running Presenter maybe, Pro Presenter, Proclaim, Easy Worship, whatever platform, software, presentation software that you want to use, and you can introduce lyrics, all that stuff. For around $1,400, that is what I would recommend for getting started. And again, that's going to set you up for the future. You can always replace the cameras. If you want to get one of these big cameras like I'm using right now, you can get one of those, have somebody man it, and it can still connect to the ATEM. Or if you want to go to a bigger ATEM, repurpose this ATEM and give that to your pastor or something like that. If you're going to do like some private podcasts or something like that that you want to do, this equipment is very portable. And like I said, this is what I would recommend for any ministry that wants to get started. Is some of that stuff outside of some ministries' budgets? Yes. But honestly, I believe that this is a good start. And this is what I would recommend. If you hired me, this is what I would recommend, because this is what I'm using. This is what I used to get started. And it is so much cheaper now than what it used to be. So one thing I want to leave with you with this video is don't think that you need millions, hundreds of thousands, or tens of thousands of dollars to get started with a live stream. You can even go lower than this if you wanted to. You can always start with your phone, but if you were asking me, this is what I would consider a good foundation that sets you up for growth and is going to give you a very low cost and high quality live stream based on where the current technology is. So links are down below to everything that I recommend. And hey, with that mentioning, I want to announce a giveaway that we're doing to help all of y'all ministries, and hopefully we can bless some of y'all with something like this. This channel has grown to help media ministries, and I want to thank y'all so much. And every time I've grown in here, I've always used this. Every milestone we've hit, we've made a way to give back to the community. So every 10,000 subscribers we grow, so right now we're at 52,500. When we hit 60,000 subscribers, I'm going to give away all of the things that I just mentioned, but I'm going to upgrade it to an ATEM Mini Extreme. So that would be a PTZ joystick, a PTZ camera 20X, an ATEM Mini Extreme, a PoE switch, and pretty much everything except for your internet and your platform and the cables to hook everything up to get your live streaming. That's going to total around $2,000 that for every 10,000 subscribers, I'm going to donate that to one lucky subscriber ministry, whichever one gets drawn. Link is down below for you to enter. All you got to do is make sure that you are a subscriber, go to the form, fill that out, and make sure you have bell notifications on. That way you know when I do the video to give it away. Again, this is my way of giving back. My goal is to do this until we hit 250,000 subscribers, and then we're going to do something even bigger when we get to that level. So again, every 10,000 subscribers, we're going to do that and do that as a giveaway. So it's going to be 60,000, 70,000, 80,000, 90,000, 100,000. And we're going to go from there up to $250,000. And that's what we're striving for, hopefully to empower some of y'all ministries and as best as I possibly can, help you get running. And that's about it. So link is down below to everything I mentioned. If you're looking at getting some of that stuff, link is down below as well as on the screen right now for entering that giveaway. And that's about it. So if you like this type of content, appreciate a like, consider subscribing, hit that bell. That way you get notified when we come out with other videos to help modernize your media ministry. Thanks for watching, folks. This is AJ. We'll catch you on the next video. Later.